Okay. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the first task allotment of um, the drafting in the month of December. Before we begin, before we go to the um, before we go into the allotment of the first task, I would just like to give you an introduction about myself as well as legal spec. Um, so just one second. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. Okay, cool. Um, Great. Okay. So first of all, giving you a little bit about legal specs. So legal specs is a community of law aficionados from throughout the country who believe that law should be available to everyone as is stated in the spirit of the Constitution. Now, we have the motto, which says lawyers in the making, and our goal is to improve students' awareness of careers as well as outreach. Now, okay. Okay, so before we get into the actual nuances of drafting, just a introduction to drafting. But before that, I'd like to make something very clear to everyone. So legal specs has has we've just completed our 1 year anniversary. So yay, that's something really cool. But now what we've decided to do is that we want to only deal in physical certificates. We don't want to issue online certificates anymore. And because it's a physical certificate, we would be kind of charging for it. Now, the tutoring that I will be giving you would be free of cost, but the certificate which Legal Specs issues would carry charges. The details of those things would be put up on the group by tomorrow morning. Um, Also, just some reminders. I would be circulating Google Forms after the just 2 to 3 days before the last date of submission of each task. I request all of you to fill those out as well as make sure all of you have LinkedIn. And Guys, please, I request all of you to mute yourselves. It's very disturbing. And Siddhi, please mute yourself. Siddhi, please mute yourself.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I request all of you to keep yourselves on mute, especially when we are talking about the task, because the flow of thought, like we all have a flow of thought, and when there is an interruption like that, unless it's a question, please try to keep yourselves on mute. If it's a question, please unmute yourself and ask. Apart from that, I guess I'm really grateful to be a part of this internship yet again. It is super fun. As hectic as it is, it keeps me on my feet because I know I'm answerable to so many people. Um, and just letting you know, there is always scope for improvement from everybody, regardless of who you are and what you are as a person, regardless of your profession, regardless of what area and what scope and what wherever you come from. Everybody has something they can improve on. That is what I believe as an individual. I am not perfect either, but just know that there is a lot of hours of preparation which goes behind me having and me coming here and talking to you about each and every task. So please respect that. Please understand that it's not an easy task especially in the month of December, as it is the wedding season everywhere, everyone's getting married. So if I'm able to take out an hour or an hour and a half every Sunday or every once in a while, I request all of you to do the same. task submissions would not be extended. We already give you a week, and I don't think, and I will be providing you with a sample. I request you not to send me back my samples as is. Um, so instead of giving you a typed out sample, what I have started to do is I have started to give you a written sample because most of these drafts I have written by hand first, gotten it corrected by a senior or by legal specs as an entity itself, and then I give you the task, and then the task is circulated amongst all of you. Another thing, please remember that you can always send me your task for review. My messages, please refrain from calling me because I have 12-hour days. I'm out of the house at 8 and I'm back home at only 8:30. So please don't call me because I might be at courts and I might be um in meetings where I might not be able to answer your call, and it might trigger you in the way it shouldn't. So my messages are always open. Unless there is something super urgent which can't wait, please wait until the night off because after I come back from office, I do tend to take an hour and reply to each and every one of your messages. And your Sunday classes, the classes on Sunday would be, or the sessions on Sunday would be at 10 a.m. in the morning. Why I'm keeping it at 10 a.m. because once afternoon hits in, everyone is just not in the mood to do anything, including myself. Sunday is the one day I get an off, and so I prefer to keep meetings in the morning and get it done with, so I don't have to disturb you in the afternoon or in the evening, and the same vice versa. Hence, I keep the meetings at Sunday mornings. And Saturday evenings are the last date of submission for each task going forward. Your task will also be sent as a Word document format, and you need to be submitting your tasks um, via LinkedIn, first of all, as a post. We do this so that we can grow as a community. We do this so that in case there are any um, other people who want to join internship, they can see how well you're growing by being a part of the internship, and they can join us as well. And also, you would be getting a Google form, like I already mentioned. Unless you've asked for an extension, I don't give out extensions just like that, unless it's a fault from my side or it's a fault from legal spec side, which is very rare. I think it doesn't happen every task, but sometimes um, I do forget, or more appropriately, I don't get the time to be able to circulate the task. So I just, you know, get, circulate the task on the next day. So just so that you have enough time to read and draft and submit the task, a day is extended, but otherwise no. Also, please remember if you want your tasks to be reviewed, um, please draft it and send it to me. I would definitely love to see all your tasks. I would anyway see it on the Google form, but if you want me to just review it, like a lot of people in the previous 2 months that I have been here have been sending me tasks to review so I can give them certain corrections if there are any. And if not, you can just go ahead and post it in so there's a submission guideline that you need to follow, which I would be sending on the group as well. And I would also be sending on the group the flow of um, the sessions or the flow of the entire month and when, what, and which tasks we would be doing. I was supposed to send it today. It is ready. It just has to, come back from it being and certain guidelines to be followed in the internship would also be shared with you by before sunrise tomorrow morning. Okay, moving on to the main part of I hope all the rules and regulations from my end are clear. If there's anything else I can do, if after the session you don't like how I take the session, please let me know. I take sessions on Zoom because it's easier to record it this way. I can have the PPT running as well. And I can also have my video running as well. Um, I prefer to turn on my video so that emotions are conveyed as well. And the body language is also appropriately seen and appropriately understood by people. So I'm sorry, I would not be able to do it on Google Meet. As convenient as it is, Zoom is a much more, it does have my work for me. I don't have to record it. There's just a button and I can just record the session. It's just so that people who are unable to attend the internship meetings don't miss out. And since today was a very short notice, I do have to record, but I will, but it's honestly on you if all of you join the meeting and I don't have to record the session. I will not record the session. I will just let it be as is. And then we can have a Google Meet. But in the 2 months that I have been here, that has not happened. Just one second, guys. Sorry about that. So moving on, we would be starting by me giving you an introduction about drafting as a whole. Okay, now drafting, I would just be reading the slides and then I would be giving a short explanation because um, we need to move on to the next thing as well. So I would just be giving you a brief and I'm not going to be reading out the slides as well. So now drafting is the art and science of preparing written legal documents, which can include contracts, agreements, pleadings, opinions, legal instruments, etc. Now, it is a skill which requires a lot of expertise, and it is mainly used to communicate legal concepts and information and such other things. And the primary objective of drafting is to present a concise, a very brief and a very well knit document wherein you present the relevant facts and legal principles pertaining to the fact in hand or the issue in hand. Now, it involves around it demands a lot of skill, including a lot of patience and a lot of your vocabulary needs to be good. You need to know where and when to put all your punctuations. You need to know that most of your legal documents do end with a witness signature or the party signature. So, keeping that in mind, you need to draft all your legal documents. Now, advocates or legal professionals, I mean, law students, legal graduates who engage in drafting must understand the relevant laws, regulations, as well as legal principles pertaining to the subject matter. Now, moving on. Okay, so this is something I have observed in the draft, in the limited number of drafts that I have drafted, that it takes about 3 drafts before you have a perfect draft. Now, the first draft is usually where you put in all the information. And then the second draft is where you fine tune your information and you put in your punctuation, you put in spacing, you put in paragraphs, and all of that. And the final draft is where you just briefly go through it and you see if there's any mistake anywhere and you change those mistakes and you just give it a final touch or a final finish up. Now, that is basically done to make the document convincing and authoritative in nature as well. Now, okay, the primary objective of drafting is to present a concise and accurate representation of information. Please keep that in mind. Any kind of draft that you draft, make sure to make it as concise and as brief as you possibly can. Now, there are certain information which you can't let go of. Those information, again, don't change, just let it be as is. But those information that you can minimize or brief it down to as small paragraphs as you can. And please remember all your drafts. when you actually get into the field would be read by other people. So please make sure you have adequate spacing and you don't crump everything up just so that your, draft doesn't exceed 2 pages. That's not what I want. That is something I am also requesting from all of you. Please make your draft very spacious. Like it should look appealing and it should sound appealing when you're reading it as well. So those are the two things you need to be keeping in mind when you're drafting. So moving on, there are certain principles of drafting. First of all, there needs to be detailed and unambiguous content. Detailed in the sense it should be brief, but it should not. Guys, please don't touch your screen. I request all of you to not touch your screen. Um, and please understand that that's distracting for the people who are listening as well as for the person who's speaking. Please try not to write on the screen. You touch your screen, that's okay, but don't write on the screen. Anyway, so we have detailed and unambiguous content. Those of you who have done drafting in the Amir, please, like guys, seriously, it is very distracting. Please stop writing on your phone. Um, just listen to me for now. Okay, so there's detailed and unambiguous content, whereby as detailed as you need to be, you also need to be concise. Unambiguous means that it should not be not intelligible or not understandable. Now you should have relevant content, and you always need to put contents in chronological order, that is date-wise, and in legal submissions or your plain written arguments, etc. And in a lot of other drafts as well. Like the draft you'll be working on today is the arbitration award. That draft also requires you to mention only 1 point per paragraph. Now it must be organized, have a uniform and consistent presentation. There must be an effective transmission of ideas. What is in your mind, you need to be putting it on paper or on your laptop or wherever you're typing it out. And you need to use appropriate legal jargon. You must have simple and faultless languages, and you must avoid repetition. Now, the Times New Roman justified font size 12 and spacing 1.5. This is something you need to keep in mind. And you always need to have all your drafts in active voice. Please make sure you keep that in mind. Um, moving on. Okay, just 1 second. Guys. Okay, so so the general principles of drafting guide the creation of effective legal documents, a satisfactory outline. So this is something you can read. I would be sending you this PPT as well. So basically, the document must be understandable, it must be readable, there must be proper formatting, there must be there must be creation of a good draft, there must be careful, chronological, and unambiguous arrangement of facts. The style must be, or the font style must be clear, and it should not be a very flowy thing where you can't understand anything. And the language should be very, very simple, but also you need to be using legal jargon as well. The physical characteristics are also important when you get into the profession, like paper quality, numbering, um, and your formatting, your line spacing. All of that adds professionalism and in your draft. And each paragraph should have only one. How can I say, only one thing that you're trying to convey. And please have someone proofread your drafts before you submit it, especially when you get into the profession. Please make sure if you have a senior, have the senior proofread, or if you have a colleague, have them proofread. But make sure you have someone proofread your draft before you actually submit them if it's a court document to the courts or if it's anything else to the appropriate authorities in that context. Okay, so since we have only 7 minutes left, I request all of you to, I'm really sorry about this, but I request all of you to join another meeting wherein I will be doing the actual the actual task one allotment. I'm really sorry for dragging the session, but certain rules need to be made clear because in the previous internship that I have been taking, I have been observing that my time and my space is not valued, and I do not want to continue that this time. Hence, I had to take the time and explain to you as to what are the rules and what are the things that you need to do and the things that you don't need to do. So I would just be stopping the meeting, and as soon as the meeting converts, I would be sending you a link. The converting of the meeting would take about 5 minutes. So I will see you all in that time. Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry for dragging the meeting forward so long. Just give me 5 more minutes. I will join, and I will quickly wrap up that session. It won't take more than 20 to 25 minutes. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.